Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Bell. It is Tuesday, June 18th, 2024, to 60 seconds after the bell, which means it's time to go beyond the news, beyond the charts, beyond the bell, brought to you by our good friends over at the Blue Sky Trading Company for the clearest path to a live brokerage account. Live trading with Mike every day in the Discord. In this outstanding show, you have no reason to get your prop firm accounts anywhere but Blue Sky. Check us out at bluesky.pro. Not .beginner, not .intermediate, .pro. Because they're on some real pro stuff there, right? All right. Okay, and especially a welcome to all of you who may be watching this show for the first time. Now, we have a lot to discuss today, including a Twitter/X based giveaway that we will get to momentarily. First of all, I'd like to remind you of the summer sale going on right now at Blue Sky, the premium account summer sale. The $25K, the $50K, the $100K account are all just $99. So take a look at the rules, take a look at what is best for your style and your risk management, and give them a try. $99 across the board. That's really great. All right, guys, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and look at the big picture. The big picture today. Okay, that's it. Thanks for joining me for another edition of Beyond the Bell. We'll see. No, of course, of course not. But really, the market's kind of not much do about nothing. As always, guys, of course, I forgot this is an interactive show. Mike, James, Tyler, K, Marco, Teo, Drawn Cup, Mrs. Nizdak. I'm assuming that's NASDAQ. Blacklight, Gypsy, Raxeth, Chris, Seif, Trade Up, Casey, Rocco, Bjorn. Rather poop in my hands and clap than have another trading day like today. It was okay. Listen, I get what you're saying. Indexes didn't do a whole lot today. Gold and oil had some good movement, though. I caught one trade in the NASDAQ. It was a nice, solid winner for me. It was literally the only setup that my trades produced all day. But, hey, I may get one trade. I may get five. Like the old saying goes, I can't tell you how many trading setups I'm going to have in the market the next day, but I can tell you what I'm going to do with them, right? And some days you get one, you hit it. It's a nice four-figure day. You call it a day. Some days you have to grind out for $200-$300. Some days you have to hit 3 or 4 nice trades in a row. Go home with $5-6K in your pocket. And some days you bust out your eval, right? Anyone bust out today? Fess up. Raise your hand or say yes or one or I busted. In this case, unlike Ghostbusters, busting does not make you feel good, right? It definitely does not feel good to bust out an account, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, big picture market took a nap today, right? So here's the thing, guys. This is an unusual week because we have a holiday tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Juneteenth holiday. Honestly, guys, I'm not going to tell I don't tell you when to trade or when not to trade, but it's going to be limited hours in the futures markets tomorrow. I don't even mess with days like that. I don't see. I mean, I guess the markets could always do anything on any given day, but I don't see a big movement coming tomorrow. Obviously, the stock markets are closed. I think the bond markets are closed as well. There's just not going to be a lot of liquidity. Hey, but it's a midweek break, right? It's federal holiday. Take hopefully whatever your other responsibilities are, work or school, etc. Hopefully you have the day off from that as well. You're able to kick back, relax, and reflect a little bit. The weather's nice around you. Enjoy the outside, etc., etc. So yeah. It's one of those days, right? This is no different than the Friday before Labor Day or Memorial Day. Unfortunately, this year, Christmas and New Year's both fall on Wednesdays, but really just F's up 2 straight weeks. The last time that happened, it was about 2.5 weeks of just lousy garbage trading. I hate that. Which may or may not be this year. Obviously, we'll see what happens, but that's a long way away. We've got a lot of money to make in the meantime. So, yeah, you can see here the NQ, guys, not a whole lot going on. So let's go ahead and look at the 5-minute chart on the Big Four. ES, again, ES moved a little bit, but ATR was kind of low. Again, guys, when you see something like this to start the day, okay, and it's not just the candlesticks. It's that we have buying and selling tails in both directions, all over the place, indecision. It's just not a trend day, right? Mean reversion was the name of the game today. If every time we got near 2 standard deviations, you played back down to VWAP, you made a lot of money today. Unfortunately, a lot of the underlying things that I look for in the markets for some good liquidity just weren't there today, and that's okay, right? Mama said there'd be days like this. NQ, again, ATR down at 15, it's just not. I like to see that above 18. I really like to see it above 20. GC had a nice early day move and then just sort of stalled out in the fast lane of VWAP up here. Really nice move on CL today. This wonderful VWAP tap happened right as I was on lunch, so I'm pretty pissed off about that because that would have been a huge winner. But again, right, that is what it is. I told you we were going to look at GC and CL a lot more on this show. GC seems to be a very nice VWAP-based trader. CL as well. Again, they're not going to take over for all the index trades that I do, but adding 3 to 5 trades a week in each one of those is increasing. As long as I manage my trades and manage my money efficiently, it's a little increasing profit here and there. So if you're somebody who really just trades the indexes, a day like today doesn't give you a whole lot to do, right? And so I would recommend adding GC, CL, ZN, ZB, YM. Maybe some wheat, maybe some gold or silver. There's a lot of different things out there to trade in the futures market. Again, don't rush right into trading. You got to watch something. I watch something for at least a few weeks before I start getting into it, and then I paper trade it for a couple weeks. I used to trade GC and CL quite a bit, and I really got away from it in the past about 12 to 14 months. About a month ago, I got heavy back into it, and I've just been the last 2 or 3 weeks paper trading, having really good success with it, a very high win rate, especially on CL. So I'll be moving back into small positions, 5 to 8 micros on those next week. I'll be all scaled up by the end of, probably by the end of June or about mid-July on that. Again, we have a choppy week, the week of the 4th as well, because Thursday is the 4th, which means Wednesday is kind of a half day. Friday may be wild, may not be. Anyway, Friday the 5th is my birthday, so I will definitely not be here that day. And we don't do a show any day, so the chances of me being around my computers most of that day and trading is I won't even say slim to none. It's none. I can tell you that right now. Found some T-bones on sale this week. Tomorrow's yeah, absolutely, man. And always a good opportunity. The Memorial Day, Labor Day, any of these holidays, always a nice opportunity to grill up. But yeah, give the grill going a little bit. All right, guys. So before we move to our Twitter giveaway, I want to talk a little bit about the lesson of the day. Earlier today in the Blue Sky Discord, a topic came up. Okay. And you can go back. It wasn't a big exchange, but you can go back and read it if you like. And basically, somebody was talking about, Blue Sky obviously has had a nice little stream of new customers over the course of the past 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know specifically how many. Again, I don't work directly for Blue Sky, so even though like Josh and Raj are nice enough to share with me non-confidential information, things like, hey, I'll ask them, hey, is there any correlation between people passing evals and the amount of trades and in general, and I've told you on this show, right, and Josh has stated like publicly before that typically, and there's exceptions, but typically the more somebody trades in the eval, the less chance they have of passing, right? And finding that sweet spot of 3 to 5 trades a day as opposed to 40, 50, 60, 70 is one of the keys to passing an eval, right? So I don't know numbers per se, right? But I do know that most of the other prop firms have had an influx of customers due to some policy emphasis and or changes at one of their rivals. And this is not to trash anybody, and you don't put the name in the chat or anything like that. Everybody knows what's going on. But I talked about and I made the comment, I've seen a particular cycle happen in the education business. Now, I started trading just about 10 years ago. In fact, just over 10 years. I had my 10-year trading anniversary a couple months ago. And it was probably about a year and a half later that I started in the education side. And it was before I was even profitable. Now, I wasn't, selling courses like I do now or running communities or anything like that. The community that I was a part of, the leader asked me to just be a moderator and to help other people who were just starting off, right? And just say, hey, I lost a lot of money. I'm starting to turn it around. I haven't figured anything out yet, but here's some of the lessons that I learned, right? That paid me a few $100 a month just to kind of babysit some of the people in his room. It was what their Discord wasn't around back then, but it was a pretty good sized live trading room, and so it was nice to make a little money on the side, and nice to interact with other traders and share some lessons and learn some lessons, of course. So I've been in the education business for just shy of 9 years now, and I've seen a cycle. Now, obviously, COVID and all that is very, very different type situation, but when I started was sort of the end of an era of a certain type of trading education, right? For a long time, trading education, especially online, came only in the form of newsletters, right? Email newsletters, long articles, maybe occasional short videos. Webinars were just kind of beginning to become a thing. Live trading rooms were just starting to become a thing. So some of the old school trading newsletter guys were starting to lose out a lot of business to the more active traders and live streaming traders, whether they were day traders, swing traders. It was mostly swing trading. Day trading, again, the futures market was not as accessible as it is now. Micros were just kind of starting to become a thing. Prop firms weren't really around. If you wanted to trade futures, you really needed about a minimum of 50 to 60K to really get going, whereas especially like small cap stocks, which was huge, really in around 2010 to about 2016, 17, though, like whether they're newsletters or alert services or whatever, became very, very big, right? That was sort of the precursor to some of the cryptocurrencies and stuff that you see now in terms of education. So naturally, the business really started to take off because now you don't need a sort of a professional, shingle to hang outside an office to run a trading education business, right? You just need a decent computer and the time to do some streaming and stuff. And so things blew up, right? The Instagram travel traders became huge. There was a whole, I could name a ton of names and throw a bunch of people under the bus, but that's, and honestly, it wouldn't be any legal issues because a lot of them have been not only accused but found guilty of fraud or sued. But that's not what this is about. This is not to throw a bunch of negative energy on what we're doing today, okay? But in about the 2 years before COVID, a lot of that began to dry up, right? A lot of the people who were just in it for fraudulent purposes started to fade away, right? Now that doesn't mean there was a ton of enforcement action, right? The FTC and the SEC they don't really do much, right? And so it was kind of a matter of just people kind of realizing who these people are, connecting in other ways besides the rooms where they met people, because things like free Slack and Discord was becoming a thing, so people could talk and say, hey, this guy, this Paul, I'm just pulling a name out of thin air. Boy, he says he's made all this money, but we've just watched him lose 10 trades in a row. This is kind of ridiculous, right? Yeah, unsubscribe, move on, right? And so in about the same time as when I was really good at trading, started getting into day trading, I was hired by TradeStation, their education arm, to be an options trading coach and do some of the stuff that I was doing there. Went through a very exhaustive account check, right? Like they looked at 5 years of my trading just to make sure I knew what I was doing, all of that kind of stuff. And so then I went through that, and it was great because, again, a lot of these people were not around anymore, okay? Well, then COVID hit, okay? And it really derailed a lot of what some of the bigger education companies were doing because, we were doing online education and combined with in-person events, right? And there was a huge in-person events trading shows, things like the Traders Expo and the Money Show, which is still around, but is completely different than it was a few years ago. I live in Chicago, which outside of New York is the hub, and Chicago is the hub, number one for options and futures, right? And so you especially in the summer, from May till really late October, every weekend in Chicago was a financial event, right? And some, of course, better than others. TD used to run a bunch of events. The Tasty Trade guys they still run some events, but used to run a bunch of events, and it was great. And COVID killed all that. None of those businesses came back, right? Money Show, like I said, does a paid model now. Anyway, but I digress. So COVID brought a lot of those individuals back, right? And a lot of the YouTube traders. That's a whole thing, guys. Please listen. I realize I'm somebody who has a paid community and sells courses and stuff like that. So I'm not telling you don't pay for those, but don't ever give a dime of money. I don't care if it's on a free Twitch stream or anything else, to a trader who A, doesn't give you their name, and B, doesn't show their face or wears a mask. Like, that's a thing now. I don't understand that. Or has a Patreon or what's the other paid thing that's out there, like a Substack or something like that. If somebody's not willing to invest the money for an infrastructure into a website, and as somebody who's ran one for several years, it's not that expensive, and I have zero coding knowledge or experience, and I run a website. Yeah, there's occasional mistakes or busted links, but it takes about 5 to 6 hours a week to maintain that and do the things that I need to do. So if somebody's not willing to put that effort in to put on a good it's no different. You walk into a business. If you're walking into a retail business and the shelves are trashed and the carpet hasn't been vacuumed and an employee's smoking out front and tells you they'll be in a minute, you're not going to buy anything from those people. You deserve as a customer of anyone to have a pleasant experience, right? And so it's one of those things that, again, ebbs and flows. Huge group of, people that are just, and there's always been great educators, but then, tons that aren't, and then they kind of bust out. And we're starting to come back into it, guys. A lot of them that were making money in the buy the dip environments of late, after May of 2020 and all the way through 2021, you were seeing a lot of buy the dippers, and they were making a lot of money, and they were going on YouTube and bragging about it, and they were telling people how then we started getting choppy again. Things stopped going up every time. We had a correction. Right? Just like we had a 5% correction just a couple of months ago, right? And these things happen. Now, as we get back into a boom market, everybody's coming out of the woodwork again. I don't tell you this to persuade you or dissuade you to a particular type of trading education. I do encourage you to seek it out, right? Whether free, paid, webinars, all that kind of stuff. Don't buy anything from anyone who's not willing to give you like a peek or a taste, right? And I'm not going to give you the link to it or anything, because I'm not pumping my community or products. But like in my community, guys, it's $7 for 7 days. Okay, one of my mentors who ran a live options trading room for many years, she did something similar. It was $14 for 2 weeks, $1 a day. And it gave her. That's how I started with her. Right, I went in there, things went great, and so it was, hey, I believe enough in what I'm doing to give you a free or a low-cost taste and let you come on in and see what we're all about. If we're not for you, that's great. We don't want your money anyway, okay? But if we are, hey, it's the beginning to hopefully a nice long mentor-mentee relationship, which I've had many of those over the years, and they're very, very rewarding, okay? The point being, the prop firms are kind of going through their first little reduction here, right? There's some that are getting called out for a lot of very shady things. There were a number of futures firms based overseas, right? I don't know specifically where, and may not have been they may have not have been incorporated or set up in any particular country. And if they were, it was definitely in countries whose, we talk about the SEC, SEC sitting with their feet. Well, at least the SEC is there, as incompetent as they are. The SEC or equivalence doesn't exist in a lot of countries, right? And so, and a lot of these companies ran Forex trading as well, which is very, very shady. And it was a whole thing. Some of those companies busted out, right? And now you're seeing some of the established names that maybe don't have, there is absolutely nothing illegal about what they're doing. Is it the most ethical thing in the world? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But the fact that we even have to take a minute to think about that kind of tells you what we need to be thinking about, right? And it all comes back to, and again, you're going to see this if you're, I wish for you that you get into a Blue Sky brokerage account and you do very well in there and you stick with them for many, many years. If you're on a journey that's going to take years, not to profitability, but just in your trading career, you will notice that I believe the prop firms are about to go through something similar as the education, right? You're going to we saw this big explosion of them in the past 3 or 4 years. Now you're starting to see a little bit of a downturn, and it's going to come and go over the years. For those of you that are in this game 20, 30 years, you're going to probably see it happen 5 or 6 times over that time. But and especially because I've seen some of you people come in from not just that one that I'm kind of loosely referring to, but other places as well that have not had the best experiences, and you come over and you appreciate that. Again, I say it at the top of every show, guys, and this is not a marketing ploy. Blue Sky did not even give me this line, did not ask me to say this, does not tell me to say this, but I say it's the clearest path to a live brokerage account because it is. Some of the other companies maybe at some point will give you the opportunity to be in a live brokerage account after many months or many withdrawals. Even that one that I'm referring to has, from what I understand, I don't know this to be fact, but I know that there apparently have a few people in live brokerage accounts. That's great. But they don't have a written path to get you to that point. Now, Blue Sky takes some risk from that, guys. They can put, a few $1,000s in a live brokerage account to give you the buying power that you need to replicate a 25, 50, 100K account, whatever the case may be. And I don't know the numbers. Again, they don't share that with me, but more often than not, I would be willing to believe that they lose that money. All right, so that's a cost of doing business for Blue Sky. But eventually, if they can get enough people into that and take their 10% cut, then it's a very valid business model. But they've stayed true to that live brokerage model throughout all of this, right? You stay they're honest with you. In the evaluation stage, you're in a sim. In the Blue Live, you're in a live sim. But then you move to a brokerage account, and there are very specific things that can happen that put you in that position, okay? All right, guys, so it is now time for our Twitter giveaway, and then I'll take a couple questions up till the mid part of the hour. So first of all, you got to follow Blue Sky Trading on, so I'm giving you the 1 minute warning if you happen to be listening here, Dr. Raj. And so we're going to put up a poll, 1, 2, or 3, and you have to decide. So the question that was asked was, what's the best advice you'd give to a beginner trader? The best answer wins a free eval. And we've got 3. So P has said, start on demo. Don't go live until you have documented consistency. Learn how to take a loss. Don't let one trade ruin your entire account. Trading is a business. Have it a plan. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff there. Raxess says, keep a journal. Learn how to journal and what to journal. Document, reflect, reassess, adjust. Tracking mistakes, failure can help make it easier to pinpoint which you should focus on to improve. And Kaushik, wait for the right setup. Do not chase trades. Do not quit your job and start to trade full-time if you have debt and obligations. Boy, I can relate to that one. All right. I'm going to place my vote here. I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for and slant the field, but I am going to place a vote. So we're going to give you we're going to give you about 60 seconds to vote in that, guys. All right. So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead. I'm not going to put the graphic up, but we're going to open the Trader Mailbag. If you have any questions for the Trader Mailbag, feel free to reach out to me, Trader Matt, on Discord or matt@TireSeasTrading.com. So I'm going to leave this graphic up for about another 30 seconds. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please place them in the chat now. Guys, no show tomorrow because it is a holiday. You think we don't have much to talk about today? We definitely won't have much to talk about tomorrow. But I will be back on Thursday. It's Thursday. I don't know if Blue Sky's going to give away anything on Thursday, guys. They might not. That's up to them. I don't ask them. They just kind of tell me. But I will tell you this: I will be giving away, especially if they set up a discount or giveaway. I will be giving away one of my brand new courses that I just released on Monday. It's the first full length future strategy course I've ever put together, and I will give away one of it. That's a pretty decent value for somebody. So I will give away one of those. Static Flash said, we just had a static sale last week, Woot. Come on, man. Get with it. All right. So P, congratulations. P has won. So many puns I could make there, but we're just going to let that go. So again, P, if you are watching, give Blue Sky 3 business days, so that not tomorrow, to get in contact with you and set up your giveaway. Make sure you check your DMs on Twitter. Yeah, Blacklight, I did it as well. I didn't have a ton of debt. I actually didn't. I was grateful for that. I think I had about $3,000 of student debt left, and I had I think about $700 on a credit card. And that was it when I started trading. I had some decent savings too. So I was in a decent financial position, but losing $40,000 in the markets in about 6 months puts me in a not so good financial situation, right? What's the best journal software in your opinion? Obviously, personal preference is a factor, but is there one that stands out to you? So 1A, 2B, 3C, 270. Sounds like a droid designation on Star Wars. I use TraderSync, but I am about to demo TradeZella. I've heard a lot of good things about it. There's also TraderView, which obviously I believe has a partnership still with Blue Sky, and EdgeWonk. Honestly, I'm not sure there's a huge difference between them. But again, the only one I've used for the past 3 years is TraderSync, but I will get back to you after I test TradeZella for a couple of months. It's a lot more expensive, but if it has some of the features that it claims it does, we'll see. I'm always willing to try a new product, and guys, I make pretty good money, so I can spend $100 here or there demoing a new product and save you guys the time and the energy and just give you my opinions on it, right? And I don't run much. I run little if nothing affiliate accounts, so it's not. I think I have a Blue Sky affiliate link I haven't put out there in months, and so I can give you honest opinions on things, on a lot of different things, that I try. So I will definitely demo some of those. But honestly, TraderSync is fine. I would give that a go. They let you try again. What do we talk about? Places that let you try it free for 7 days. Now, tip: if you try it for 7 days and you like it, do not buy it for a few days. They'll send you a 50% off coupon. Right? At least they used to. All right, guys, any other questions? I'll take one more question before we wrap up the show. Did you just call me well-rounded? I mean, I kind of am, but that's okay. I'm trying to lose a little weight. I got to lose a few pounds before I get married next year. All right. Well, this is your last chance for questions, guys. Again, reminder: no show tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday, and hopefully the markets, after a day to digest everything, really get off to a good start and give us some opportunities. Well, here's the thing, though, Blacklight Gypsy. I started with a handwritten journal, 1 trade per page. I made a little template page that had everything I needed, but I'm making 12 to 15 trades per week back then, right? And so it was very easy to do that. If you're even today, when I'm making, my daily trades have gone way down this year, probably closer to 3 than 5. But if I'm making 25 to 30 trades per week, that gets tough to do handwritten. And again, you can't tag and sort them. Like any journal, you should be able to tag a trade by setup. And like I said, I could pull up a setup and tell you how I do in that setup on Tuesdays between 10 and 11 a.m., right? I don't know that there's an inherent edge in that information. In fact, there probably is not. But there can be an edge. I do most of my trading in the morning. That's changed the last couple of months, obviously. But that's because I trade better in the mornings, and I've shown that over many years. So, again, just a little bit of you've got to be able to analyze things. All right, my friends. Well, we're coming up on 3:30 in the Central Time Zone, 1:30 out on the West Coast. So we are ready to wrap up the show for the day. Yeah. So thank you, guys, again, for another edition of Beyond the Bell. Don't forget the sale that's going on right now. And have a great rest of your day. I will see you Thursday for another edition of Beyond the Bell. Good night.